Hello, welcome to day 29 of Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. This is October of 2023, and this is our sketch today. Now, our sketch is by Natalie Archer, but today is going to be a little bit different because I have a whole bunch of photos from the Main Street Electric Light Parade, which, by the way, is one of my all-time favorite memories of Disney as a kid, going with my parents. And then also I insisted that we always saw the parade, and I'm so glad we did because it's not showing anymore. I'm sure it will come back around again, but for right now it's not at the parks. So I'm going through these photos and I'm going to combine today's sketch and tomorrow's sketch and split the photos over the two pages. The one tomorrow has like some film strip elements to it, and I kind of thought that this also looked like a film strip. So I'm just trying to decide on my photos kind of what grouping and what sizes and which ones I really need to tell the story. I know some people have a hard time throwing photos away or cutting down photos, especially older ones, that they feel, oh, we don't know where the negatives are, we can't get these back again. For me, I have built that muscle, and so I am okay with getting rid of photos that don't add to the story, but also trimming them down. The more that you do this, the better you get at it, practice. I listened to a couple different people about decluttering house and organizing, and they say that is, a muscle memory. And I think scrapbooking and telling the story is also a muscle memory. So I have decided for today's layout, I'm going to use the photos of what I would call the primary Disney characters. So there's Mickey, Minnie, Goofy is playing the timpani drums, and then we have some of the dwarves, and then Cinderella and Prince Charming are coming out of the carriage there. So I'm just kind of looking at the sketch and placing these trimmed down photos, and then you can see on the sketch how it kind of cascades down. So I want to keep that. I'm not sure if I'm going to use a flip flap with these photos because they're not the same size, but then I realized that I'm going to go ahead and make a mat that is the 4x4 of the big dwarf's face, Happy, I believe that is, and then I can put that other smaller photo on the back and do some journaling with it. And at this point, I believe I'm going to do a flip up from the top, and so that's how I oriented things. I have this washi tape that's on my desk, which I love, so to kind of help fill some of the space, I'm using it on the back side. Well, then I realized there's also an uneven gap on the front side of the star paper, and the star paper came from the Happiest Place coordinating cardstock collection. So I'm excited to be using up stuff from my stash. If you haven't followed along at all this month, I am using photos from trips that we took to Disney in 1997 and then again with friends in 2000. And some of the photos were double exposed. Some of them don't have us in them, just the characters and the sights that we're seeing. So I'm working hard to create an album with these photos that have been kind of taunting me, and I pick them up and I think I'm going to do them and then I don't do them. So I'm very excited to be coming towards the end of this project and have the pages and my album. I can really see it coming together. So here again, I'm just auditioning different papers. With all the colors and lights going on in the photos, it's really hard to not overwhelm that with paper choices that also are busy in pattern. So you'll see I'll do a lot of solids. The red was just a little too bright for me, so I'm going to go back again almost to a monochromatic, bringing in the white, maybe have the black as that big banner of color behind the photos, but that's even too busy. The red still doesn't work. I don't know why I keep trying it, probably because it's just right there and I now have a white background, and I think miraculously this is going to work. So now I'm pausing a minute and I'm looking that Mickey's suit is gold, but it's kind of an orangey gold, and there's a lot of orange lights on the parade pieces, and orange and blue are complementary colors of each other. So I go ahead and grab that bluebird, and surprise, it works. Goofy's pants have that blue in it, and like I said, it's a complementary color to all the oranges that are in the photo, so it's not a surprise that that works. So now I'm trying to figure out how I can do the banner in the back with the sides, because if you turn a 12 by 12 at an angle, then you're not going to have a full width that whole way. So I know that I'm going to do a frame, but also looking ahead to tomorrow's sketch, it has framing in it, and since I'm going to make these companion pages, that's perfect. So I'm going to do a frame on this, and you can see I'm holding that white piece down a 1/2 inch from both top and the side, and I will do that all the way around. I'm just kind of playing with it here. I'm very much a visual person and learner, and so I like to audition things and kind of get a direction of what I'm doing. So now I decided it was too much white, but that circle paper again from Happiest Place, I think this just works. So I have cut this down because I know that I needed 6 inches wide. So I cut that piece of bluebird in half. And now what I'm going to do is figure out the spacing and the sizes that I need for some of the other background papers. I did add just that zip strip. There's hearts on it. And I'm trying to decide what mat I want. I did decide that holographic paper. And then as I was cutting it down, I realized I didn't need the full 11-inch square of the circle and black background. So I cut one at 3.5 and one at 2.5. And then I'm going to go ahead and just line this up and use a pencil. I'll make a little tick mark, and then I'll cut from the corner of the paper down to that tick mark. I will repeat that again on the other side. And that's my scientific method of getting an angle from one side to the other. So I've glued some of these papers down. I have the zip strip in there. I did finally use the back side of that candy apple red for mounting Happy's face on, and he's such red rosy cheeks that it works perfectly. So here I'm going to use a flip flap, and again I had thought that I was going to do a top flap, but because I have to cut the flip flap down and there would be a lot of leftover space, I should say, where I'm folding it under, I went ahead and swapped that out for the landscape orientation of the flip flap. And then I put my photo in it with the matting and everything, so I know my sizes. And then I like to leave just under 1/4 of an inch, and I have this real thin, it's like 1/8 of an inch red line score tape, they call it. And so I just cut it to size, and I put it right in between the 2 layers. And I take my time. This particular, because it's so thin, it's real easy to kind of get it back on track if you don't get it started correctly. Some of the thicker one, if you don't start it correctly and you go at an angle, it's hard to correct. But so that's all I do. I've made my custom flip flap here. So to adhere it, I put my bottom photo where I want it, and then I'm holding that flip flap while I remove the paper that covers the tape. And now that's adhered to my page. Some people put them right on top of their page protectors. I put them inside, and then I'll cut a slit in my page protector to pull that through. So it will be on the outside of the album, but it's underneath the photo on the inside. I just like how it covers up some more of the mechanics. So here off camera, I added some gems on the front, and I did my journaling and added some more gems. And I was thinking that those sparkle gems are kind of like the lights on the float. So I just did grouping of 4 of them together. Now I did some more stash diving because I pulled Goofy from my Mickey and Friends Cricut cuts that I did previously. So I have 2 threads that I'm using on every page this month. One of them is the candy apple color, which is that red, and the other is I'm either using a Mickey shaped head, or I'm using these Cricut cuts that I did last spring and assembled, because like I said, these photos have been calling to me to do them, and I've just not been, I don't know, able to do it, wrap my head around it. But finally I'm like, just start. Once I start, we'll figure out a way. So then I went to my stash and I found these enamel shapes, and I'm just kind of using the chevron to kind of point your eye, because again, I know this is going to be a companion page, so I want to keep your eye moving across the page and flowing into what will be the other page. So here I'm just going to add those last 4 gems over top of Minnie Mouse, and again, I'm trying to emulate the light bulbs that are on each of the floats. So here is a close-up of the layout. In the description below the video, you will find playlists for everybody that's playing along. Last time I checked, there were over 400 videos. This is how you can connect with me. And there's also links for the products that I love to use. Have a great day. Blessings.